Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to use the mic, if we need to use the mic, but we'll start off that way at least. My name is Gary LaFawn. I'm your Director of Membership Marketing and Communications here at the Landis Golf and Athletic Club. And it's my pleasure to bring to you a little player panel today from some Korn Ferry Tour players that are here to compete in the Club Car Championship. So this is our third year hosting this event, and I want to kind of introduce our participants. We'll have a few questions for them, hear a little bit about their stories, how they got to the Korn Ferry Tour, and then most of all, give a chance for you all to ask some questions. So we've got a smaller group today. I want to make sure you all have a question ready for any one of the players, and we'll get started. So our first participant hails from Olive Branch, Mississippi. How many people know where Olive Branch, Mississippi is? His name is Braden Thornberry. Braden, come on up. Our second participant reigns from a little further away. He reigns from Mosul Bay, South Africa, and that's Aldrich Ottenby. And then our final participant, Madisonville, Texas. Please welcome Sam Bennett. I'm going to kind of ask you guys some questions, and if you just maybe pass the mic back and forth. It's up to you guys if you want to use the mic or not. We'll see how it goes. But Braden, welcome. I know this is your return trip for you, both Aldrich and Sam. This is a new experience for you here at the Landis Golf and Athletic Club. So welcome back, first of all.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about your game and where we are.
Yeah, everything's good. This is my partner.
Click it.
What's up?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
How about now?
Okay. Yeah, so I turned pro in 2019 and spent pretty much every year. Last year was my only year not on the Korn Ferry Tour, and came from Ole Miss, played every year out here, and so I've been here. This is either my third or fourth year we were talking about. I can't quite remember, but enjoyed every year, the hospitality and the hosting of the families and everything. So I always enjoy this golf course. So just excited for another.
Great. Also, 2017 was a pretty good year for you. NCAA Player of the Year, or Division Championship. Where was that event? Tell us about that.
It was at Rich Harvest Farms, and yeah, I had a really good year. So I won 4 times before that, and then came in there as like one of the best players in college, and then was able to win that week to kind of cement it a little bit that year. So yeah, 2017 had a lot of good stuff, and a lot of putts were going in.
And then your debut on the PGA Tour?
Yeah, and then so I won. So I won that, and then I played my first PGA Tour event in Memphis, and I was tied for the lead through 16 holes on Sunday. Ended up finishing 4th, I guess I had just turned 20. And then the next week I went and won the Sunny Hannah Amateur, so that was a really nice 3 weeks. So hope it'd be nice to do that again, get hot again.
Congratulations. Aldrich, welcome to the Landis Golf and Athletic Club, like I said. 19 and a half, right? 19 and a half years old. Quite a playing career you've had so far. Tell us a little bit about your stint to the Korn Ferry Tour and where you are today.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having us. The club is awesome, and we've really enjoyed being here so far. And so I'm 19. I turned professional last year. What did we really start at? Played the US Open, made the cut, so that got me to second stage for Q School. And then ended up winning Q School, so that secured me 8 starts on the Korn Ferry Tour, which was really awesome to get that secured. And then went to final stage at TPC Sawgrass. Seeing that for the first time, playing there was awesome. Meeting a lot of new guys, new faces that I haven't seen in America yet. Coming from South Africa and growing up in Australia a little bit was it was interesting, playing different golf courses, different conditions. So coming to America, I didn't really know what to expect. So that was pretty cool to see the golf courses and the people here. And so I played final stage and started off really well at the first event, second event in Bahamas. Actually won that week, so that was also my first career win on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Congrats.
So So it's been awesome. Traveling with my dad has been awesome as well. He's been with me for since final stage of Q School, so that's been great to have a family member with me and someone to support me. And yeah, that's where we are now.
And played a little bit down in Australia as well?
Yeah, grew up there. Spent 9 years in Perth, so that was pretty cool. Have a lot of memories up there, and a place that's close to my heart as well. So yeah.
Great, thank you. And last but not least, Sam Bennett. Sam, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Landis Golf and Athletic Club. Tell us a little bit about your career. I think a few people in the room may know something about you.
Yeah, graduated from Texas A&M last May, and then was able to played 12 PGA Tour events last summer, and then was able to get enough points there. And this is my first full season on Korn Ferry Tour.
Had an interesting run last year at Augusta, so sure, tell us about that.
Yeah, it was cool. Just getting to see the course. It was, unbelievable. The grass, patrons, everything. It was everything I dreamed of. It's like I've kind of been there before, just from watching on TV, knowing all the slopes and the hole locations and whatnot. But to be in the final group with Rom and Kepka on Saturday. I wish we wouldn't have teed off that day. We only played 7 holes, and it was worst weather I played in. But it was a great experience, and I wish I would have played one stroke. I got 16th. I needed 12th to get invite back, so I bogeyed the last. So it was pretty disappointing, but it was a great week.
Good. Sam's also our U.S. Amateur 2022 champion too, so congratulations on that. Really, I want to kind of talk a little bit about the tour. A couple of you guys are new on the tour. Brandon, you spent some time on the tour, but tell us about making your schedule. Sam, I'm going to start with you. You're kind of looking at the events. Are you playing everything? You play a few events, you pick some out?
Yeah, I'm going to try to play them all. There's 2 7-week stretches, I believe, in the summer, so probably going to have to take 1 week off there. That's a lot of golf, but I'm going to try to play them all, but Aldridge might be a little different. You got to win, earlier in the season, so you can relax a little bit more than, some others. So, but yeah, I'm just going to play them all, really.
Aldridge?
Yeah, I would say having the win helps a lot. But I guess you're still trying to play for that number 1 on the ranking spot, giving yourself the best opportunity for next year to get the most invites as you can. And so I'm just trying to get more wins, if I can say like that. And so play as much as I can. Same with that 7 stretch. Probably take a week off there. That is a lot of golf. But and trying to manage my time as well as I can during the week of the tournament as well. It's always hard traveling from South Africa as well. With those weeks off, we've got a couple of weeks off, trying to go home to see the family back home. I've got a younger sister as well, and my mum's there, so trying to manage that, but also trying to keep your head inside the golf game and try and do the best you can to maximize your time as much as you can.
Yeah, I would say same as these guys. It's kind of, I think pretty much everyone's played all the events mostly like so far, because we've had kind of nice scheduling so far where there's been off weeks and stuff. Like we're coming off 3 weeks right now where we've been off. And unless you did, some guys did played on PGA or some Mondays and stuff like that. But for the most part, we've had 3 weeks. So far it's been pretty easy to make the schedule. And we have, even after this one, we have another off week. We'll play 2 and then 2 more off weeks. So pretty much everyone's playing those, but yeah, like these guys are saying, once those stretches come, my first year I learned the hard way a little bit, at least for me, that I played 10 in a row, and by that last one, I was still playing okay, but I just felt like I was really going through the motions a lot, as opposed to getting out there and I kind of like curving the ball and kind of shot making a little bit, and I just noticed after that many weeks, I'm seeing everything dead straight and no creativity, so I try to limit it to maybe 4 in a row. I don't know exactly how that schedule is going to fall this year with being the 7 and 7, but I haven't quite figured that out. But yeah, I try to somewhat limit it. And the way the points are on this tour, they're so top heavy, it's better to play well when you are playing as opposed to just playing everything. So I'll probably take 1 or 2 off throughout the year, but try to play as much as I can.
Then you all have to try to work in US Open qualifying, British Open qualifying, right? So that's a part of your schedule as well. Talk a little bit about this week, preparation this week. Walk me through what your preparation is this week and see the differences maybe between the 3 of you.
Me first?
Sure, go ahead.
This week, so my first couple years I was trying to play as much before the tournaments as I could, whereas now, like, I've played this golf course, like I said, this is either my fourth or my fifth year being here. I've played 3 or 4, so I know the golf course pretty well. It seems like it's been very consistent. It's always in good shape, and there's never, well, in theory, there's never crazy wind here like there are in the Bahamas and stuff, but so I've always enjoyed
You might
it.
want to hang on until Thursday.
Yeah. I've seen the forecast a little bit, but so this week I got in last night and I played 18 today, and in theory there's 9-hole pro-am tomorrow. I know there's been some rough weather forecasted, but so now it's not as hard to actually learn the golf courses. I'm more of just trying to be ready, and whether that's practice more at home or I just think getting here a little later is nice when you know the golf courses. So it's probably a little different for these guys not seeing all these golf courses. It's a little tougher you have to emphasize that a little more. So, but it's nice being a little more time at home.
Yeah, I think for me and Sam, we haven't seen the courses yet, so it's going to be a bit different. But I think if you're hitting the ball well, you're just looking at the flag and going at it. I think practice rounds wise, if I see the course once, I kind of see what I have to do. And my caddy, he's very experienced. He's been here a few times, so I kind of rely on him a little bit more to kind of guide me and tell me what he sees as well. So seeing if that will work, and then it's a learning experience, definitely being the first year on tour. So it's kind of trying to figure everything out as quickly as possible as well. That will make a big difference. But seeing the course, seeing the tee shots you need to hit, especially, and then seeing the slopes on the greens where to miss. I think that's the biggest key, missing in the right spots on some of these golf courses. It's obviously giving yourself the best chances, and then it's just got to play good golf. I think it's still up to that. You still got to hit the ball, and it doesn't matter how much preparation you've done. You still got to execute. So I think relying on that a little bit more, preparing at home on the weeks off. I think that's a big key.
Yeah, this great setup this week. I hear this is one of the better course setups that we come to on the schedule. Everybody says, and I like to take it easy. I figured out rest is the most important. So usually I just play 9 Monday, practice Tuesday, and then 9 Wednesday, and just see the course once and just get tee shot lines and speed of the greens. About it.
So you mentioned a little bit about your caddies. Tell us about how you met your caddy, your relationship there.
Yeah, I got a new caddy. Out on tour last year, I had he was an actual caddy. He's been out there for a while, and we weren't too close off the course. So now I got a buddy, a former teammate, so it makes traveling and staying with him really fun. But yeah, he's a good golfer, and he knows my game well, which is nice. He's doing some homework on the course right now, walking, so make sure I'm prepared.
Yeah, for me, I had a good friend of mine caddying the last couple of weeks, and we got a win, so that's not too bad. I have a new caddy for this week. He couldn't caddy anymore, so I got a guy that has a lot of experience on the course, a little bit older, so we'll see how that goes. I think that would be good to have that experience behind me to when you're in the press, when you have a lot of pressure on the line, someone who can guide you in the right direction. He's a guy that knows a lot of different golfers. He's not a guy that caddies one way. He'll adapt to you. So I guess I hope this works. And you never know with a new guy, so you kind of test out, see how he is, and so it's a ball game, but really feel comfortable with him, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, being our first tournament in the States, I think a lot of people were kind of their first weeks with the caddy this week. And I'm the same way. I've known this guy for a while. He's actually, I don't know if you guys know Trey Mullinax, but it's his uncle. So he kind of started caddying for Trey, and then some of the Alabama guys, and then so I had him this week. But maybe about half of the foreign events, my fiance was caddying. So she actually does a really good job. She's really smart. So she didn't help me with the golf aspect as much, but as far as the knowing where to be, just all the little stuff, it's actually a lot more to it with caddies than just the golf stuff. She learned that right away and did a really good job, and saved some money too on some of those ones down in the Bahamas and stuff. So that was really good. And she says she's retired now, but I guess we'll see in the future.
And we're married now?
I'm married in December.
All right, good. Congratulations. As we have a bunch of our members here in the room, and you all have played some pro-ams before. What's the number one thing you see amateurs do on a frequent basis? What do you see? And how would you help them?
That's a tough question, but I mean, I guess kind of the cliche answers would be not hitting enough club and then just being really bad around the greens. But it kind of depends on if they're, I guess the advice would depend on if they are willing to practice or not. And if they're not willing, I think some of the simple answers like hitting more clubs, being more conservative, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like being more conservative is not fun, and you're out there for fun. So I think it's all, it kind of comes down to what their actual goals are, and if they're trying to improve at golf or if they're just trying to have fun. So it just kind of depends.
What have you seen out there? It's okay, they won't bite.
Yeah, I think with a lot of the golfers, the amateur golfers, I see a lot of guys, their alignment's not right. I think that's where it all starts. If you're aiming in the right direction, it's very simple to, you can hit your 20-yard slice or whatever it is, but if you're aiming in the middle of the fairway or whatever it is, it's probably not going to work. So I think alignment with even putting, aiming at the right spot, you can just hit your shot and it's going to work. So I think that's probably the number one thing you can start at, is just make sure you're aiming straight ahead. Yeah.
Like Braden said, coming up short, see that a bunch, not taking enough club, and then double chip it. Like if you have a tough chip shot, just take your medicine and get it on the green.
Use a putter every once in a while. Right? So in your own game, Sam, tell us what you're working on. What's your challenge right now? What are you really focused on game-wise?
Yeah, I haven't had my best stuff since about this time last year. It's been a struggle. I've been fighting my swing. I like to draw the ball, and I haven't been able to turn it over consistently in a long time. So I've been playing this kind of nasty fade out there, but it's not good because I don't hit it far. I need to maximize my distance, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just big about scoring. I'm kind of like Braden. I like to hit different shots, and I like to be able to work it both ways. But right now it's just a fade.
Yeah, for me, I think it's that inside 100 yards, just trying to sharpen the wedges, give yourself the best opportunity. Even if your driver's going a little bit sideways, you can chip out to that distance you like, and just give yourself the best chance to make that up and down, and to back myself to know that I have done the work, and just make sure that those saves happen more often. I think that's the biggest thing, especially with par fives. If you can't go for the green, you can still make birdie from 40 chip shots and pitch shots from 40, 50, 60 out. So I think that's what I've been working on a lot, and we'll see how it goes in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've been kind of working on my mid-iron game. That's always kind of been my weakness, like mid and long irons. I was kind of struggled driving, and in college, and my short game of putting was just really, really good, and it kind of bailed me out. But you can't really do that at this level. Like, other than people can do it all, you can't really bail yourself out and beat them. So I've started driving it really good, still putting it really good, but that kind of, some days that's where it kind of goes wrong. And certain golf courses, you're hitting a lot of 7 and 6 irons, and like exposes you a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm excited to kind of, once we get going, I feel like kind of the opposite of what I was saying earlier, where if you get like too many in a row, you start to kind of struggle, but when you're like on that second and third week, you feel like you're kind of getting some momentum, and that's where you feel like the practice starts to kind of show up in your game, and you're not rusty anymore, and every week's very different. Kind of what Audrey was saying about inside 100 yards, it's kind of tricky with this tour because you're playing all different grasses, you're kind of having to not necessarily learn it because you've usually been on these grasses before, but just every week's a little bit different. You're trying to kind of fine tune that week, whether it's the 50 yarders, the chipping, the putting, so everything's a little bit different each week. So once you kind of get in the flow, you feel like it's a little easier to adjust to that stuff.
Aldridge, if you were not playing golf, what would you be doing? If you had your choice.
I'll probably be fishing or camping, or I don't know. Back in South Africa, we're pretty adventurous, so I think we'd like to be outdoors, and I can't sit at a desk or sit at home and do nothing, so I have to be out there doing something. So I'll probably just go on a
Outdoor guy maybe?
Yeah, doing something like that.
Sam, how about you?
Yeah, I'd be playing tennis. It was my most competitive sport in high school, and I'm gonna go play tennis here in like an hour actually.
Ready?
I 100% want to be a dirt bike racer. I love Supercross, and actually I bought a dirt bike the other day, so unfortunately I can't really ride it side, so that would 100% be what I would like to do.
All right, so favorite sports teams?
Memphis Grizzlies for sure.
Okay, Memphis Grizzlies.
I'm still trying to get into the US sports, so I'm
Okay.
trying to learn the
Doesn't have to be here in the US.
I have to support the Springboks from the rugby. I don't know if you guys know anything about rugby, but we just won the World Cup, so that was good. First team to do it 4 times, so that's pretty cool.
Astros, but yeah, we got swept by the Yankees first week of the year.
It's a long season, 162 games. There's that. Favorite golf movie and why? And we're gonna get into the personal ones.
Probably the greatest game I ever played. It was cool at the country club in Brookline. I played that U.S. Open there. I guess it was 3 years ago. I made the cut, so that was a fun week. And then got to see Francis's house on 17 that he lived in. It's still there, and yeah, I just think it's a great movie overall.
I think the only golf movie I watched growing up was kind of Happy Gilmore. That was kind of that was kind of the only one that I watched, and I don't know why, but my sister was obsessed. It was always playing in the house, so I don't know. That's probably it.
I'd probably say Happy Gilmore as well, but I don't feel like we have like a great golf movie. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I feel like there needs to be one that's like an absolute classic. I feel like some other sports have it. I don't know. I guess like a Caddyshack and Happy Gilmore are classics, but I feel like we need I feel like we need another golf movie that's more current and just really good.
All right, well, that might be a good, I'm sure there's some producers out there that might want to look at it. I want to open it up to kind of the members. You've heard a little bit about their lives, what they go through on a day-to-day basis. And any questions from the audience? If you have a question, you can either, so I can give you a mic or.
No, I don't need a mic. I don't think. Is there a minimum number of tournaments you need to play? And how do you go about deciding which tournaments you want to play?
Is this for anyone or?
Yes.
The way you go about, like, these guys, it's tougher because they haven't played the courses, but for somebody like me that's seen all of them, it can either come down to the actual schedule, like if you want to, like, if there's 8 or there's 9 events, you can go 4 off week 4 and just break it up evenly, or you kind of know the golf courses, know which one, maybe you've been to one and you don't like it, or maybe you've been to one and you really like it and you've had success, so kind of all of those kind of factor in, but as far as a minimum, I don't think there's a minimum. There's certain like PGA Tour stuff to like get your benefits and that kind of stuff, and I think that's like 15-ish for them. But I don't think as far as like I think if you played one event, you had enough points to get your card, you get it to my knowledge. So kind of up to you.
For Aldridge, I was able to play a couple of golf courses in your neighborhood, Fancourt and Pinnacle Point, which to me is the most beautiful course I've ever played. My question is, do you get to play some of the events in South Africa, or are you pretty much here in the U.S.?
Yeah, so I actually live on Pinnacle Point, so that's where we live, and I'm a member at Fancourt, so they had the President's Cup there. I don't even know what year, but it was the first time they had the President's Cup where Ernie and Tiger played in the dark for a playoff, and they actually decided to go and draw one of them. So that's also a cool place to be at. And I didn't really play a lot of golf in South Africa. I played Daniel and at Leopard Creek. That's an awesome course.
I played that one too.
That is probably top 3 courses that I've played at. And I played the South African Open, so that's a big one as well. But it's probably just those 2.
Yeah, this January, for those of you who may or may not know, we've got a trip scheduled to South Africa, 14-day trip with one of the tour operators out of there. There's 5 couples that are signed up for that right now, so it's something that they'll play for a lot of those courses, other than Leopard Creek, I believe Fancourt as well. Other questions?
Aldridge, do you have the same support training as we do in the U.S. through college and the junior league?
Yeah, I think growing up in Australia, so that's where I kind of started playing my golf, and they also have like a national team and state teams and stuff like that, so they're pretty strong in their golf as well. They try and target that as a top sport as well, so it's pretty good. I think nothing reaches out to the US though. I think with colleges and stuff like that, they just get so much help and support from young guys. It's a different game. I think even South Africa, it's kind of, you play rugby or you play tennis, or you do swimming. It's kind of golf isn't in that top selected sport yet. So I would like to see that in South Africa a little bit more, but definitely in Australia, there's a lot of golfers coming out from there as well that's starting to play some good golf.
In the middle.
In the Korn Ferry, how does the point system work? If you finish in the top 25, what does that allow you to do with the PGA Tour?
So as far as the points, it depends. So if you miss the cut, you get 0 points, and if you finish first, you get 500, and it kind of goes down like 500, 300, 180, all the way down to like 2 if you finish like the 65th. So I think at the end of the year, it was top 25, now it's top 30 get PGA Tour cards, and I believe it's usually around, just say 800-ish throughout the year to get your tour card. So it takes like a win and like a second would in theory put you right around there, but that's obviously you have more events. But so once you finish top 30, number 1, and take all this with a grain of salt, this is to my knowledge, but if you finish number 1, you get like the players and you're like fully exempt on the PGA Tour. And if you finish 2 through 30, you're kind of slotted in to where a lot of those guys don't get in all the weeks. Like it's not like, I think a lot of people think like, oh, you finish top 30, you're a PGA Tour member, you play any tournament you want. And even more so now with the elevated events and stuff's getting kind of moved around and tough. But it's always kind of been where some of those guys will only get, 17 events throughout the year, where there might be 40 they could have played. So it's always tough for those guys that finish lower on the list to keep their card on the PGA Tour. You see a lot of guys kind of bounce back and forth. So yeah, it's definitely, like he was saying, finishing number 1 is big, and then even after that, finishing as high as you can is big for that priority for the next year.
In the back.
Brandon, are you still playing a driving iron?
I'm not playing a driving iron anymore. I went to a 5-wood. I realized I wasn't good enough to hit those 2 irons anymore. I didn't have enough speed, so I was kind of, I had too many clanks that flew like 220 when I needed to fly on 240, so.
Well, I got to play with you at the BMW, and it's been a couple years. What a good time that was.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I want to know how you got your fiance to caddy for you. My wife won't know.
So she's always been really good with that, and I even this year, so she's caddied a bunch of Q schools for me, and I have status on the DP World Tour this year too, and I played an event in Kenya. She caddied over there, so she's actually caddied for me on 5 different continents, so that's pretty crazy. And so start this year, she was going to do both of the Bahamas, and I was like, you want me to ask, like, because with our Titleist contract, you're supposed to use the big bag every week. And I was like, you want me to like ask them, see if they'll make an exception? I flew back. She's like, don't worry about it. And I don't know if she regretted that decision or not, but she's always been great with that. So she's awesome.
Well, it was a big treat, so thank you. That was a great time.
Right here.
Do you guys have specific coaches, or are you at the stage where you're starting to feel that out?
Yeah, I've never had a golf lesson before. You can probably tell by my swing, it's not the most pretty looking thing, but yeah, my college coach, he helps me out a bunch still. He caddied for me at the Masters and at the USAM, so I still live in College Station, or went to school, so I hang around him a lot. But yeah.
Yeah, I think with coaches, you kind of build a connection with the coach, and you kind of get a feel of what players he's coaching and what level he is able to coach. And then obviously moving from Australia to South Africa, I had to find a different coach because I couldn't do the online thing, didn't really work, and obviously playing here all the time. I got a coach in South Africa, but you got to find someone here that will be able to help you if you're in a crisis or something like that happens with your swing and you need something now. So I think it's important, but it depends where you are and what you can get from them as well. So it changes a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as Sam. I'd never had a golf lesson until I was I'm 26 now, so I was probably 23. And I talked to a couple different guys, and like a couple of them wanted to like overhaul change stuff, and then one of them was basically like, looks good. So I was like, both of those are not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for kind of someone that wants to work with me on how I swing it, but just kind of help me fine tune things. And Scott Hamilton, he's near Atlanta. I started working with him, not like full time, but maybe I've probably been to him like 4 times in the last year. He's just kind of a good set of eyes to kind of, I guess, look at things and just tell me like a direction to work on. Like not necessarily super specific, but just kind of like, this is kind of where your flaws are, so just try to get it a little more this way. Like, so it's very basic, but I feel like I'm also like making up ground at the same time. So And it's good, kind of Roger was saying, it's good to like know, like look at coaches and like have their players improve. Like if great golfers are going to them and they're not improving, like it's not much of a coach really. So it's guys that are, whether that's getting them onto the Korn Ferry or that's getting them to go from 20 in the world to 5, and no matter what the progress is, just some sort of improvement is always good to see.
Other questions? Yes, sir.
This is for all of you. Other than missing that putt, what do you find to be the most difficult part of being on tour?
I guess the travel is like the best and the worst part, I'd say. It's cool to see these cool places, like I went to Kenya, Argentina, and Chile 3 weeks in a row, and been all over Abu Dhabi, Dubai, like all those cool places. So that's like a great part of it, but also like having to go to those places sucks sometimes too when you don't want to, and 15-hour flights, which I'm sure Aldridge's done a lot of. So I would probably say the travel.
Yeah, I would agree. Travel's a big factor that you kind of have to look at, and managing your time and rest. I guess that's kind of, when you're playing every week, you're getting there on Tuesday because you're traveling on Monday. You just rest, but you still need to see the course. So I think managing the time, finding the right balance for you is kind of the biggest thing, and try and do that as soon as you can so you can prepare for every tournament the best you can.
Yeah, travel obviously, and then I don't know. Last year when I was playing on the big tour there, I got pretty lonely out there. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing, and it was just me and my caddy, and I always stay by myself. But on the Korn Ferry, I really enjoyed it. My time out here so far. Got a lot of teammates, and it's kind of like a college event. It feels like a lot of familiar faces, and yeah, it's been nice to go get dinners with people I know.
Other questions? And there's some more. Yes, ma'am.
Going back a little bit to how do you decide your tournaments? You played all over the world. Are some of those on the DP World Tour? How do you come to America from Australia and South Africa? I would have sort of thought maybe the DP World Tour was easier. I didn't know, do they have a Korn Ferry variation there?
Yeah, so in South Africa and in Australia, they've got the Australasian tour. So it's Australia and Asian tour. They kind of have a combined tour. So, but in South Africa, they got the Sunshine Tour. But my goal was to play on the PGA Tour, and making the cut at the US Open got me the spot into second stage at Korn Ferry. So that kind of opened a door for me to go in that pathway, that direction, to get to the PGA Tour. Otherwise, I could have gone to I did go to Q School for European Tour, but I feel like you got to finish top 10 on European Tour to go to PGA Tour the following year. And on here, you got to finish 30th. So I didn't know, I played some European events in South Africa and in Europe, but I didn't know anything about American golf a lot. So came here, played a few events. I played some PGA events, the Rock Mortgage, a couple others. And I got a feel, and I enjoyed America a lot more than Europe. I struggled a little bit more in Europe with the languages. I was a bit more lonely. Like Sam said, it's a whole different world. And being 18 last year and doing all of that, I felt that getting that opportunity to come to the Korn Ferry was the right decision. And I've been enjoying it so far, and it's been great to see new courses, meeting new people. It's been awesome so far.
Yes, sir.
How do you guys, excuse me, how do you feel about the Live Tour? Is that? I didn't mean necessarily personally, but is that a good thing for you guys? It's taking some people out of the PGA. Does it really matter to you right now?
It doesn't really matter to us. I played the Live Q School in December, so I'm obviously not super anti. Like I think we're all playing to be professional golfers and make money and for our families and everything. So wherever the avenue that is, like I'm fine with it. And obviously there's a whole different discussion of all the other stuff. But now the thing with the Live, I feel like is no one really knows where it's going. Hopefully they merge in some version soon. I don't know what that's going to look like, but the idea of it is cool. I think there's a lot of cool parts to it. But overall, I mean, I would like to just be as high as I can in golf, no matter where that is, and making money and doing good stuff. So.
Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm just wondering, this is for all of you, do you have time or do you take the time to do other things physically to avoid injury at your point in your careers and to strengthen your bodies in other ways? I'm just curious how that works.
I hate working out. 6 a.m. workouts in college were miserable, but yeah, I don't know. I like the Normatex for after the round. My legs get tired, but yeah, I don't really do any sort of training or anything. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people say my back's not gonna hold up by the way I swing it, but I hope it does. But there's some probably better things I could be doing to take care of my body, but I don't know.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think for me it was, I think for us golfers, I don't know, you get some freaks that just do everything they can and spend all their energy. But for me it's more recovery, kind of make sure you're flexible, make sure that, even though I don't do everything, but I think that's a bigger factor that comes into play, and make sure that you treat your body well, kind of get in the preparation. It doesn't have to be in the gym or anything like that. It can just be with some stretching and stuff that can help you prevent injuries, because it doesn't help getting injured every year and putting yourself out of the game for 2 to 3 months every year. So that's never fun for anyone. And yeah, so I think that's kind of a big thing for us, trying to prevent injury.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm at home, I try to work out 3 times a week. On the road is tougher because you never know what the situation is. Sometimes it's a hotel gym. Weeks like this, there's really nice gyms, and but I think that helps you get stronger and improve. But I think, like we were saying with the travel, I think flexibility is really important, because pretty much after every flight you're tight, no matter how long it is. But so I think the flexibility is probably the biggest thing in stretching, as far as not getting hurt, and then the actual working out is to maybe try to improve and hit it farther, be more stable, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, anything you can do should help in theory. Some guys take it overboard and it does hurt them, but if there's a nice balance.
In the very back, question.
Yeah, with respect to Deer Creek, do you guys have a favorite hole or favorite shot, or a nemesis for that matter, that you care to talk about?
No hole jumps out. They're all good. I think it depends on if we're talking fun or a good hole. Number 9 is a really good hole, but it's not that fun. I've been all over the board. I've made last year I made or 2 years ago an 80-footer on that hole, and then I've also made a quad there. So I've kind of been all over. But as far as fun, I think the drivable hole is really cool. Number 5. That one's really fun because it's I play a mini driver instead of a 3-wood. It's a perfect number for me if there's no wind. So today I hit it there to probably 15 or 20 feet today. And it's just perfect. So hopefully the wind either stays cross or no wind for that. It'll be a perfect club.
Other questions? I thought I had. Yes, sir.
Yeah, going back to the personal training, and it seems like the PGA Tour provides trainers for these guys, or is that on their time? Do they provide any for you guys? Do you have a workout van that they bring around, or it's all you?
Yeah, so they'll have a van on the PGA Tour. I'm sure they'll have a van there that will have most equipment on. And I think there is one this week as well, but they don't have any trainers and anything, so it's all on you to go do that yourself, I think. But they have some physios and things like that that can help you recover and things like that. But on the vans, it's kind of just, it's empty, you go do your own thing in there. But I'm not sure if they'll have their own every week, but
Those guys pay a lot of money for those trainers.
yeah.
And this week, one of the Golf Performance Center bays is being used by the physio guys. There's, I think, 2 physio guys that are in there the whole time, the whole week for the players.
So it's on the player to pay for his own physio.
But I
So
think
those two physios,
are big.
those 2 physios, the tour cover. I think that started last year, which was a really good improvement. For stretching before the round, or if you have any sort of problem that needs to be worked on, those guys are really good. But yeah, as far as full on strength training and stuff, traveling with you, the guys on the PGA are probably paying a couple $100,000 a year to have those guys with them every week. And those are the top guys, obviously. But the lower guys that are on the PGA Tour aren't traveling every week with those.
Now there's a question over here that I didn't get to, or right there, sir.
So you guys, I don't know if you know this, but on hole number 5, if you get 2 birdies, there's a beer special. I don't know if you guys knew that. So when you're walking off, there's no more?
No.
So
Yeah,
when you're walking off the green and we're all running out of control, We still haven't seen you.
I've noticed
But
that.
we got 5 minutes to get a beer for $1. So
Is it,
I
is
just want
it,
you to know.
is
So
it
try,
one bird or
try.
two birds?
It's two.
2 birds.
Two birds.
Yeah.
They're small beers.
There's
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I have noticed that everyone's always very excited about Hole in Ones, even more than normal. So, but yeah, it's cool to like have little traditions like that, especially like obviously the PGA Tour has a lot of stuff like that. So it's cool when we come. Like this is probably the most supported event on the Korn Ferry as far as from the membership and people showing up to watch. So it's cool to have kind of a hole like that where some exciting stuff can happen.
Other questions in the room? I have one for the players. What do you have, any questions for the members? Any questions about the golf course, the facility, anything you want to know, anything for us, anything we can help you with this week? Put you on the spot.
My host family told me to go play tennis at the deck. Is that the best tennis courts?
Yes.
Okay.
And pickleball too, if you're a pickleball person, so pickleball there.
What level are you? I'm guessing 4 or 5?
What, like USTA stuff?
Yeah.
I don't play any of that stuff, yeah.
Aldridge, anything? Any questions?
Well, if I'm not correct, there's 6 golf courses.
6 golf courses, correct.
What's probably your favorite golf course out of the 6? That's what I would like to know.
I'd like to know that actually.
Is there a go-to one right here?
It's interesting, you've got about 50 members in the room, I bet you probably have 10 for one course, 10 for another, 10 for another.
If we have least favorite, there's more answers.
Yeah, we're not gonna find out. The other ball. Well, again, thank you all